For a while I wanted to put a dash cam inside the car, but I didn't really want this obtrusive camera sticking in my windshield with wires dangling around or anything like that. So I just scrapped the entire project. This was some time ago. Lately, I got back into looking at some of the dash cams and realized that they've come a long way, where the cameras can be much smaller. They can be unobtrusively placed in the windshield behind the rearview mirror or wherever you want to put it, and not have wires dangling all around. As a matter of fact, they also have new different connectors. This one from Dungar Technologies, and they're made specifically for different cars, where it plugs into the rear mirror connector, and then accommodates the original wire for rear mirror connector and a USB port, so you can apply power to the camera from that while the car is on. They also have the parking cable and the hot wire system where you connect directly to the fuse box. You snake the wire up, and it has this, so that with this particular cable you can actually get video at any time. So the camera's constantly on for motion, in case you have a motion with the car or jarring the car of something of that nature. And the parking cable's main function is to actually cut off the camera after a certain voltage is reached. This one, I think it says at 11.5 volts, it'll automatically cut off. That way you don't drain your battery, even if you have multiple incidents with the camera turning on. Even though, to tell you the truth, the amount of voltage the camera takes, you'd have to probably leave your car sitting somewhere for a weekend or so with constant taping for it to actually do any damage. I also got these particular case. If I use the Dungar cable, which it seems to be unnecessary now, they come with their own USB, so this is going to go back. This was a way to connect the units with the wire coming up or down function. But like I said, I don't need this at this point. Also got the nice 32 gig SD card. The camera operates on the micro card, and you have the adapter so you can read it on your computer and so forth. Anyway, here is the camera itself. This is the actual unboxing. I didn't open it up yet, even though I don't see that it's taped shut. That's one of the things about buying on Amazon. When you don't have something taped shut, it's just the tabs holding it together. You have no idea whether someone that actually used this and sent it back or anything like that. There are some indications I can tell right away, though. And one of the indications I can tell on this one right away is that this is more than probably something was sent back, because there's no thin film on the lens here. I'm not too happy about that. That doesn't mean that there's something wrong with the camera or not, but I just don't like paying for something that someone decided they no longer want. And that is a great indication there. There would usually be a thin film of plastic to protect this lens from scratches. I want to make sure there are no other indications here, because if there's the slightest scratch or any other indication, I will just send it back anyway, regardless of the conditions it's in. One thing, it doesn't look like it's been actually connected to anything. The thin film of paper is on where it connects to the windshield, and that would be a problem anyway, but this could have been popped off and replaced anyway. So the packages here don't look like they've been opened, even though it's just a piece of tape that's holding them shut, which could have been replaced, but it doesn't look like they've been removed and replaced. It's quite possible for some reason this didn't get that piece of plastic on there and it hasn't been used. But like I said, if there's any indication of it not operating properly, I'm going to make sure I hold on to all the boxes, and we will definitely be sending that back. Hopefully not. Alright, so anyway, the point being is this is how small the camera is. It sticks to your windshield and points out. You can see from my hand how small it is. And so it's unobtrusive. You plug in the adapter, and you can do it several ways. Once again, I can do it through the DunGuard cable. Where to hide my DunGuard? And connect it right to the rear view mirror, which encompasses everything. It closes everything up where you can't see anything there. You can barely see it from outside the window also, because that section of window pie is tinted. And you can do the hardwire. I originally thought I'd just do it through the dongle cable, but I'm thinking I might do the hardwire option instead of the dongle cable. We'll see. But I have the option to do either one. Right now I'm just eyeing up exactly where I'd like to place the camera behind the mirror, just getting an idea of how high on the windshield I like to place it and what's going to be more beneficial for a full view. Although I did decide to go with the hardwire installation, first I'm going to show you the very quick installation with the Dunbar cable. At the very top of the rear view mirror connector, there's a spring clip. You have to locate that at the top center, press it down, then you can easily remove that connector. Then find the corresponding female connector on the Dunbar cable. Then plug in the male section of the rear view mirror connector. You'll be left with a 7-pin male connector and a female USB connector. Plug the 7-pin male connector in the back of the rear view mirror. Make sure that it snaps in securely. Utilizing the USB to micro USB cable, you connect the camera directly to the Dunbar cable. At this point, the simple application is done. All you have to do is clean the mirror with an alcohol swab and connect the adhesive back connector to the windshield. As you can see here, all the wires are gently tucked in behind the rearview mirror and very hard to spot unless you're looking from the side. It's also difficult to see the camera when looking directly through the windshield. Okay, with the regular lights on, you see very little also. You do see that little glowing red light. I'm pretty sure there's a way to actually turn that light off as well, but not that it's a big thing anyway. It's not going to be a problem. Now I'm going to test this out as is, like that. So far it's working well. But I do believe I am going to connect the parking cable that gives it a full hardwire. Okay, at this time what I did was I removed my special DunGuard dongle there, put the original cable back in the mirror, and you can see I connected in the USB cable from the parking cable, camera parking cable, and I just tucked it up inside the top. Now, tucking up inside the top is nothing. There's a, I don't know if you can see from here. Let's see if we can see from here. There's a big gap there, so you can actually just do that by hand, just shove it in there, and it's loosely inside there. It's not nothing holding it in place, but when you get to this point over here, it's a little tighter, and this gap right here, you can just squeeze the cable in. I did that by hand. I actually squeezed it in behind that piece. It did make this protrude just a little bit over here, because you know, the cable didn't belong back there, or should I say, you know, the car wasn't made for somebody to shove this cable inside there. You could probably take out this whole piece and work it around, but you got to remember, this is the side airbag curtains, and you don't want to be messing around back there too much. So like I said, I just tucked it in there slightly. For this section here inside the molding, I actually lifted this by hand also, and then just pushed it in with my finger, and it went behind there easily and simply. And I followed that all the way down. It's a little tighter over on this section here, but the same thing. I opened it up with the crevice tool, and I was able to shove that wire all the way back into a crevice there until it comes out over here. So this stuff is not just sitting right behind this molding here. It's, you know, well inside the crevice there, where it's not going to be damaged or affect the operation of the door or anything like that. I'm going to leave a link to a description where I seen the guy do this if you want to see it by, actually see it happening. Unfortunately, although I have a proper video camera to do this stuff, I'm always constantly doing this stuff with my phone, and then when I have to utilize my phone for something else, I end up just turning off for some of the stuff that I'm doing. All right, my next step now is I gotta locate the fuse box and see exactly how that's gonna be connected. I carefully snapped out the bottom section of the driver's side console. There are only 2 connectors that had to be removed. That way I have easy access to the fuse box. So I did use the multimeter, and I found the open fuse slot that has voltage on it with the car off. It's the one, if I could get a light in there, all the way on the top to the left. That guy is clear and open. Anyway, yes, it's slot number 31 on my Honda Accord Cross Tour. The only thing is, I gotta find out exactly what type of fuses I'm using. It's a small section, but there are 2 type of connectors for the small ones, and there's this guy here. It just has long prongs, and this guy here that has these. Let's make sure I have the right ones. I don't think I have the right ones here. Not that guy. Yeah, there he goes. This one we hit the long prongs, and this little guy here with the big barrier in the center. And I need to remove one of those fuses to see exactly which type I have there. I don't see a fuse puller here. And remarkably, I think I looked at the manual. It said that the fuse puller would be inside, under the trunk inside that fuse box, which I checked, and that's not so. There's another fuse box on the other side. I'm going to give that a check and see if there's a full fuse puller in there. If not, I'll just grab something, pair of pliers or something, and pull it out carefully. All right, so I did end up pulling out this with a pair of pliers, and it's the one that has the big barrier in the center. So that's the one I'm going to end up using. Where's that guy at? So this is the adapter that I'm going to end up using. Right, now that we decided that this is the right fuse for it, we're going to take the red wire off the parking cable connector and just plug it into that particular fuse here. I know some of these units come that they have to be crimped in, but this is a very tight connection itself. Not only is it a tight connection, it has a rubber boot and a sealing rubber piece over here as well to sort of lock that insulation over the top. So we got this, oops, sorry about that. Got this off here. So you can seal the rubber boot off of here, and there's another rubber piece here to shove inside there to make it extra tight, and that works out really good. And it's super tight. You don't have to worry about trying to crimp it in. Now, another thing it says here, it comes with also not just that particular fuse. If you needed it for a different fuse, not only have different connectors here for different fuses, they have different fuses here, and you have to take one of the existing fuses out of the box there, and it has to go in the top section here. They stipulate that it must go into that section, period. Okay, let me see if it goes in only one way or not. So that has to go in there. Yeah, fuses go in anyway, but I'm gonna make sure it's all the way in there. It's snapped in. And this is made so that if you're using a fuse socket that already had a fuse in it, you could actually remove that fuse, put it inside here to operate it, and then plug this in, so you're piggybacking. But we don't have that necessity here because I found a free open accessory socket that has power on with the car in the off position. Okay, so we got everything all set in here. I was able to tie up the cables and tuck them into a place where they wouldn't cause a problem for anything. Now I just have to reconnect this small section of the dash here, and we'll be all set. We'll see what happens. I do have lights up here, so obviously the hard connection did work. I reconnected the two lighting cables to the console cover. I carefully positioned the cover into place and then snapped it in. With the job completed, there's no sign of any hanging cables. The camera is unobtrusively tucked in behind the rearview mirror, and everything's back in order. Looking from the front of the windshield, there's very little visual evidence of the camera being there. Of course, it's something you can see if you're looking closely for it, but at a glance, you can't see anything. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and comment, and press the bell notification to be notified of new videos.